Thank you, Mr. President and members. I rise in opposition to Senate Bill, or committee substitute for Senate Bill 4. But before I go any further, I want to acknowledge the senatorial process. We've had a very serious exchange of views. We're certainly divided on this issue, but I think any objective review of the process would show that each and every one of us represented our district, and I hope people will recognize what a fine institution this is. Also, I'd like to, before any further, emphasize to those who are opposed to it, many can't be here today, those that support this, that elections do matter. Not only, members, do elections matter, rules matter. I think it would be proper for me to acknowledge if we had not changed the 2/3 rule, we wouldn't even be probably having this debate. Certainly the content of the bill would be different. But rules, elections matter. I also want to mention that I hope our children and grandchildren never have to go through the discussion that we've had about the conditions of human circumstances that this bill speaks to, the pain and confusion that exist among our communities. I hope our children and grandchildren will not face the same sensitivities. And Senator West, Senator Miles, you know I join you in your comments last night. And I hope our children and grandchildren won't have to live to see a state senator or senators appeal to a governor to have African Americans on our boards and commissions, because their perspective, that African American on a board or commission perspective, is so valuable, but equally important is that they are mentors to our young African Americans in our communities, that yes, they can be on the UT Board of Regents or the Highway Commission or throughout state government. Senator Perry, you referenced after I spoke yesterday that Senator Whitmire mentioned Rosa, and it was kind of I got the impression taken, I don't want to paraphrase it, maybe that was a once circumstance or a unique set of facts. It's not, my friend. I could have told you about Maria. 3 years ago, a mother of three, one of the strongest Christian, patriotic ladies that my family has met, turned left in a construction zone off of I-10 in Houston, Mr. President. No license, because we prohibit that. She went to jail, spent 6 weeks in detention through Mother's Day, and was ordered deported, and is currently on appeal. So I could tell you about Maria or Jesse that works in the Capitol here. I've seen his story that when he was 10 and they were pulled over, his mother started crying, and he didn't understand. And at that stage in his life, he found out that the family, his parents, were undocumented. So these are real examples. I could go on and give you other examples. Tomas, Cece, their personal fear and hardship. Where do we turn? We're here. We're in the community. I hope we will not forget the faces of those individuals, because I believe there's millions that could be identified in this state. One of my strong statements is, Senator Perry, and to each and every one of us, including the Lieutenant Governor, we spent no time yesterday talking about a solution to the root cause of this problem. Yes, we're talking about how to effectively work with undocumented and documented and law enforcement, the courts, the county services. But members, we have collective clout, bipartisan collective clout, to ask Washington to once and for all fix this problem. We have to have a working immigration plan. I understand the purpose of border security. We're spending a fortune down there. And I'm not endorsing a wall. I'm saying a program that identifies the labor pool that your community and my community depends on. Senator Perry, I don't know how you'd run your feedlots in Lubbock without the immigrant population, some documented, some undocumented. President George W. Bush had a very viable immigration plan that is still sitting on somebody's desk in Washington. One last thing. The idea that the governor or the leadership would cut off funding to cities and counties that do not comply with Senate Bill 4 is not going to hurt that elected official. In some instances, it may actually make her or him more popular. What it's going to do is hurt our constituents. It's going to hurt our veterans when they lose the veteran court, our mental health courts, and the DWI reduction in funding of those courts will threaten each and every one of us with more DWIs. In closing, Senator Perry, you're a good man, a really good man, representing your district and your point of view. But I hope you will keep your commitment to stay involved, monitor the training of the officers and the operations of your legislation. Try to minimize the unintended consequences and see that the programs are implemented fair, constitutionally, and do not unnecessarily divide our families and frighten millions of our residents, documented and undocumented. Thank you. For the floor.